On Mountain News this morning, the Commonwealth saw its first measles case after one traveler came through the state. And a recently passed House bill is bringing more funding to the mountains of Kentucky.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:30 on Thursday, February 8th. Now let's send it over to meteorologist Mace Michaels for a look at your forecast this morning.
Another nice day is ahead for us, Olivia. 36 degrees right now here in Hazard with a partly to mostly cloudy sky. We will see more and more clouds move into the area through the day today, but the rain should hold off until later on tonight into tomorrow and especially later for this weekend. A lot of warm temperatures as you step outside. I mentioned the 36 here in Hazard, even as warm as 44 in Pikeville and 41 in Moorhead. Couple of pockets, though, of 20s to show you here on the map. Manchester at 29 and Jacksboro at 28. Satellite shows the cloud cover that's gradually thickening here across the region. But you roll to the northwest, this is where the pattern starts to change. You'll notice rain here into the upper Midwest. A lot of bright white clouds with the jet stream to the southwest. That's humidity increasing. So with more and more humidity coming into the air, let alone the western system bringing in rain chances, yeah, we're looking at wet weather around here. Not right away today, though. Temperatures up into the 60s with thickening clouds. That wet weather arrives later on tonight, tomorrow, and also into Saturday. I'll have more on that coming up, Olivia. Enjoy today, though. Still pretty nice.
All right, Mace, thank you. This week, Kentucky health officials reported that the Ohio Health Department confirmed a case of the measles in a person who was from Ohio but traveled through the Northern Kentucky International Airport while contagious. Officials say they are working to contact individuals who may have been exposed. But as I'm about to show you some tips about what you can do to ensure you and your family stay healthy. Kentucky River District Public Health Director Scott Lockhart says the CDC is reporting that there have been no confirmed measles cases in Kentucky this calendar year. But he says there is a key component to keep folks safe.
The risk for people to be for developing measles is very low if they have been vaccinated. The CDC states that vaccination is 97% effective.
At one point, the CDC even reported that the measles were eliminated back in 2000 due to the effectiveness of the widespread MMR vaccine.
Measles, mumps, rubella MMR vaccine is a normal childhood vaccine that we have to prevent these childhood illnesses. Typically, the first dose, it is a two-dose series. The first dose is received about 12 months, and then the second dose around 4 years of age.
Saying now we typically only see cases of measles from someone who has traveled in another country where it is still prevalent, and also in those who opt out of vaccinations.
We have a lot of people now who are choosing not to get their vaccinations either for religious reasons or other reasons. And when we have clusters of individuals who are unvaccinated, that makes them susceptible to outbreaks of measles if they become exposed, particularly in our young children.
But as more people opt out, it does increase the chance of scattered cases across the country. And as Lockhart says, the measles can spread rapidly through the air and on surfaces.
Well, one of the things about it is an individual who has measles, that coughs, sneezes, whatever, the measles virus can actually remain in the air for up to 2 hours after that individual has left that room where they've expelled those droplets, and it becomes airborne.
Lockhart says some of the other common symptoms associated with measles include a fever and a rash, as well as runny eyes and nose. At this time, Lockhart says the CDC is reporting that there have been no confirmed measles cases in residents of Kentucky this calendar year. We are seeing Congressman Hal Rogers for the first time since a serious car crash last month in Washington. The Dean of the House is back on the job and talked to our D.C. Bureau yesterday. The crash in early January forced the 86-year-old congressman, who has served since 1981, to take some time to recover.
Well, it was a car accident. I was attempting to turn left to get to my condo and this oncoming car in the other direction hit me. Totaled my car. I was very lucky, blessed as a matter of fact, to not have more serious injuries. I feel much better. I still am under doctor's care, but I'm back at work.
Congressman Rogers has returned during a busy week. Tuesday, a vote to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary failed, but Rogers believes they will try again and be successful. A bipartisan bill to strengthen the border and provide aid for Ukraine and Israel also died in the Senate yesterday, and it was already declared dead on arrival in the House. Wednesday, a bill passed through the House focused on bringing grant funding to the mountains. House Bill 299 is Representative Ashley Tackett Lafferty's effort to make grant applications and information more accessible to individuals and entities in Kentucky. She says her district could benefit greatly from easily accessible information about available funding, but may not always know where to look.
HB 299 will basically create a centralized searchable database where public grant information will be reported to the Secretary of State's office, and it will be made easily accessible for individuals and other entities who want to review the grant availability.
The database would be on the Secretary of State's website and would be updated quarterly with grant offerings. The Street Voice Council presented its survey results to lawmakers regarding House Bill 5, known as the Safer Kentucky Act. The bill would strengthen penalties for crime in the state and also criminalize homelessness. The Street Voice Council is made up of people who are or were homeless. They say more than 1,900 people older than the age of 18 completed their survey. They found most respondents do not find homeless camps in isolated areas a threat to the public.
We just wanted you to have another voice, a voice of your people, a voice of the Street Voice Council. And they all agreed that we already have existing laws.
The House passed House Bill 5 last week. It is now waiting to be heard in the Senate for a vote. The Department of Community-Based Services estimates there are more than 1,000 children in some form of relative foster care around the state. Norma Hatfield with the Kinship Families Coalition of Kentucky is raising her two granddaughters. The practice is called kinship care. But as laws are written, if you check the wrong box on forms, those who secure permanent custody will see benefits and financial support drop off.
It takes into consideration real life, and it also takes into consideration the children and the families.
Senate Bill 151 is sponsored by Senator Julie Adams. It passed committee with a vote of 10-0. It will now head to the Senate floor. Yesterday was Recovery Advocacy Day. People were at the state capitol rotunda supporting recovery efforts. The statewide training and advocacy organization People Advocating Recovery hosted a rally. They were at the Capitol with behavioral health organizations, legislators, and people in recovery. Governor Beshear spoke during the rally, saying we must end the stigma surrounding addiction and recovery.
It's the organizations, the nonprofits, the treatment centers, the recovery centers, everyone out there, the harm reduction groups. It is your hard work that deserves the lion's share of all of the credit in what we have seen. And let me also say every person in treatment and recovery deserve a big round of applause for fighting as hard as they are.
Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman said during the rally there are 3 counties considered recovery-ready communities. They are Scott, Hardin, and McCracken counties.
Good morning to you. Partly to mostly cloudy skies and warm weather in the area this morning. We might not be as bright and as warm as yesterday. It might not feel as warm because we'll have more clouds around, but it'll still be a pretty nice day today. Temperatures are beginning warm in many areas. We're at 43 with some hints of the sun starting to come up there on the horizon. in Moorhead. And when you take a look at the rest of our temperatures, Jacksboro a little cooler, 28, Manchester 29. A lot of 30s, though, over most of the area, like Hazard here at 36. And I showed you some of those 40s. Jackson as warm as 47. Here's the cloud cover that's been drifting in throughout the night tonight. A partly to mostly cloudy sky, and it's continuing to thicken here through the morning. As you look back to the west, though, there's plenty of moisture to talk about, and that rainfall will start to drift into the area tonight and into tomorrow. We'll start off the day today with some sunshine. No problems for your Big Sandy heating and cooling travel forecast. As cloud cover thickens, we'll look for high temperatures to work up into the 60s. A closer look at when the rain rolls in coming up.
Thanks, Mace, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:40. Still to come on Mountain News this morning. The Supreme Court is set to hear a case that could determine whether or not former President Trump is eligible to run for the White House again.